I'm Anarchy. I'm with my buddy Rob. This is Mozzcast, and we have a special guest today, an old friend of mine, Inflewence.
Yes.
So
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
what's up,
Hello.
guys? Good to see you.
What's happening?
Yeah.
So here we are. You know, I've loved Transformers for a very long time, and when I thought about, and I talked to Rob about doing this episode about Transformers, the first person I thought about having on was you, Influence. So
I appreciate it.
I thought it'd be pretty cool to get into. And
yeah, we go back, so yeah, it'll be great.
yes, we go back. Ben and I went to grade school together, and Ben was one of my best friends growing up, and we were into all the '80s toys. Transformers probably the biggest thing, right? And I mean, dude, we were reading comics together. We were right into.
I mean, you got me into comics. You got me into Star Trek. Like you probably, and I meant to pull out. I still got the autographed picture that we got from the con. I meant to pull that out.
Oh wow, nice!
I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. But yeah, you got me into all that. But Transformers was probably my biggest. I know you had everything. Like you you had the gambit of stuff. So
Yes, you did. Yes,
it was great. I don't know if I wanted to tell you a story, and I'm not sure. I don't want to get too far going, but I don't know if you remember. We go back from asking each other's mom to spend the night. So
yep.
I remember spending the night at your house, and I was waking up at the crack of dawn, and you like to sleep in, and I was playing with G1 Jetfire. I don't know if you remember this, and it had all the ratchets, and you was pissed. It was hilarious because you was like trying to sleep, and all you hear is crick, 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 crick. And I'm playing, I'm just transforming it. Oh, that was hilarious. I still remember that until this day. Because you was like, can you go back to sleep? Like, why are you up so early? Because I didn't have Jetfire. It was my favorite characters. So
mine too, man. I played many hours with Jetfire.
That's hilarious. That was just hilarious to me that I still remember that.
Yeah, man. I'm still like that, dude. I'm
like that now. I don't get up early. I do not want to get up early.
Rob,
I can't call him till 2:00.
Yeah, Rob and I work at the same place, and he's the early guy, 6 a.m. And I come online to work at 11 a.m. and I'm still like, I don't want to get up.
Yeah, I hear you. That's how I am. That's funny.
Oh, that's a great story. I do remember that shit. That's like that.
I think you had bunk beds, and I did out on bunk. You up there sleeping? I'm just cracking. They had them strong ratchets too. G1, G1.
I remember
that was my favorite. That was my favorite, man.
Yeah. So going to Rob, Jetfire was your favorite figure?
1,000%. Yes. I played many hours with him flying around the backyard, and just I loved him in airplane mode. Jet mode.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because we're going to get into a little bit of Transformers history here, but Jetfire was the toy name. Wasn't he Skyfire on the cartoon? Or am I remembering that wrong?
I'm not sure.
I think he was Skyfire, or I think he was Jetfire for like one episode, and I think they had some copyright issues, so he became Skyfire.
Okay.
Or I could be mixing it up. It's something like that.
It was something like
one episode he was like Jetfire or Skyfire. I don't know which one it is. I can't remember.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
but you're correct. He actually came from Robotech, right?
Yeah.
That's where the figure came from.
That's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He wasn't even really a Hasbro license, I don't think, at first. Like, well, I guess none of them were, right? They came from Diaclone.
Yeah. They came from
Diaclone
and Robotech and all that.
Yeah. Oh shit. So, and I remember Rob and his brother coming over to my house years later, Ben, and I got into Japanese Transformers because I loved the box art of those and I would go from one thing to the other, right? I'd go from like collecting GI Joe, and then I'd sell the GI Joes, and I'd buy Star Wars, and then I'd sell my Star Wars stuff and buy Transformers, and then I'd sell like my G1 stuff and buy Japanese Transformers because I thought the box art was just like incredible compared to like the American releases.
And it was.
It was,
and
right?
It still is.
Definitely,
Yeah.
The art.
Yeah, I didn't get into Japanese Transformers until recent, like maybe the last 5 years.
Oh, okay.
I wish I didn't even really know too much, like the Headmasters and that series. Like I didn't know too much about it.
Yeah, that's some big stuff.
Yeah,
like
definitely. I just got a third party Overlord not too long ago, and I love that figure, and I wasn't like really connected to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think I'm hoping I'm remembering this right too. But when I got into buying the toys, the Japanese box in the Japanese boxes, I remember seeing and reading. Rob, I don't know if you know this, that the Generation 1 cartoon, the original cartoon that we watched, ended in the United States, and they kept it going in Japan for a ton of years. It went from like to like 1991 or 1992, somewhere early 90s. But they had their own, the Headmasters, and they changed it to I'm not going to remember the exact name, Strike Force something, or then the Victory series, and they kept going on and on. Like it was so big in Japan. Not that it wasn't in the United States, but it just went for many more years in Japan with these, G1 Transformers. So I did watch those years ago too, and they had the English subtitles, so they spoke in Japanese, but you actually had to read the words on the screen. So I did, and they were good. They were actually pretty good. They got more violent and everything in Japan because of the stuff they couldn't do in the United States. But yeah, I remember you and your brother Frank coming over, Rob, and my dog attacking you, like jumping on your back.
Oh, yeah.
Tank. Yeah, while you
Rest
would.
in peace, man.
Yeah. Love that dog. And but I was big into those Japanese Transformers. My last piece I remember buying, guys, was from Ben. I don't know if you ever went to. This was in the 90s. The Toyrarium in Ocean City, New Jersey. It was owned by Jim Adizio, and
Toy Legend.
Yeah, and it was
Toy Legend.
He had the best toy shop, and he had everything. Vintage Star Wars still on the card, and Transformers and everything boxed. But he had bought a collection of G1 Transformers, and even though I was buying the Japanese box stuff, he had a Target Master Hot Rod sealed in a box. I remember I spent $550 on this figure at the time, and this was I think mid-90s that I got it. But I was in love with that, and you guys are going to disagree, but I love me some Hot Rod. Look, Rob.
No.
I don't have an issue with Hot Rod. I know everybody hates him because he killed Prime, but I mean, technically did not. Megatron did. That's what I always say.
Rob's gonna fight me. Hot Rod is better than Optimus
Prime. Don't go there.
Oh no, I'm not gonna go there.
Dude, guys, I love me some Hot Rod.
Great.
That's
oh
funny.
my God.
All right, hear me out. All right, hear me out on this. When you're growing up, there are certain movies that stick in your head, right? So I'm gonna name off a few. Superman 1, when Lois falls off the roof and Superman catches her in the helicopter, you're like, the hairs on your back stand up, right? And you're like, man, that was a great scene. And there's another movie that sticks out, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. When you're watching Robin Hood and Will Scarlet is about to get hanged and Robin Hood pulls back the bow, fires in slow motion, like you feel it in your body, right? That scene. When Hot Rod takes the Matrix and he pulls it open, and you got the touch started playing.
I mean, that was iconic. That was an iconic scene.
That's soft.
But
no,
I just don't think he had the touch. Like he just did. He didn't have the mustard that he needed to take leadership.
He didn't have the touch. He did.
Let him go.
He did have the touch.
You stop it. You stop it right now. No.
But that scene gave me that same feeling as
I won't watch that movie anymore ever. Like I haven't watched that movie in a long time because of that.
Oh, that's funny.
No,
man, that movie and that scene takes me back to my childhood, and I just I love it. I love it. And I
That's
think
traumatic in my childhood.
it was. I
No.
think it was for a lot of people. I remember I still
Yeah.
read about, parents taking their kids to the theater and had no idea that Optimus Prime was going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let alone how many Transformers died in the first
Yeah, they got rid of.
15
They was
minutes
like,
of
we
the
needed
film?
to sell some more toys. We gotta get rid of these guys.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, they killed off all of them.
Yeah.
Megatron pops, he's like, boom,
Yeah.
boom, 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 and they're dead. Like,
Oh
what?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
They
was
could do it.
dramatic though. after watching the cartoon for a year or 2 years and never seeing anybody get hit,
Yeah.
like darn near hit, and then everybody
Yeah.
dies.
Yeah, like, what is going
Well,
on
at least
here?
in Transformers, I know G.I. Joe, nobody ever got
Yeah,
hit.
G.I. Joe.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a
That
whole
movie
screen
was
of bullets.
dramatic.
Nobody ever got hit.
Yep,
But at
ever.
least with
Yeah.
Transformers, they would at least
Yeah,
get
they would get hit.
they would at least get hit and blown
Mhm.
back because they were robots and not
Mhm.
humans. But-
Yeah.
and that's why they killed out fucking fuck. I can't stand hot rod. Turns my stomach. No,
He turns
Yeah.
all,
he's right up here with
he turns
Tom
all gray and
McFarlane.
shit,
No, no, mm-mm, no.
Oh,
Well,
man.
they got a lot of hate mail, so they had to bring him back.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I somehow came across that when Optimus comes back and everybody's infected. I just watched that either on YouTube or on TV or not too long ago. I don't remember where, but I remember seeing the Return of Optimus episode. But yeah, so Generation 1, and I was going to talk about Generation 2, but to be honest, I don't even know what Generation 2 was like. The cartoon remade and like episodes cut, and there were certain things cut, I remember, and they had like different intros or what, and they remade the figures with different colors, and I don't think it was Generation
Cheaper
2
plastics. They were more plastic. They were cheaper plastics. The odd colors. Yeah.
was that a hit?
They have their place in. They have their place in toy history. It wasn't a hit at the time, but they became very collectible.
Yeah, they have a lot of people that like it. I guess.
Yeah.
they were
I don't
during
think they
that
were.
time.
Yeah.
I guess their childhood during that time or whatever the case is.
There was
same reason we collect.
right. So there was probably the kids that were a little bit younger than us that got into the Generation 2, right? I guess that's the philosophy or whatever, or but I don't really remember. I remember it coming on. I'm like, what is this? It's just the
I
episodes.
don't remember it either. Like I just remember it seeing a little bit. We were getting older, so I wasn't personally watching Transformers too much. I did watch Beast Wars a little bit, but
Yes. Me too.
yeah,
Same. I
But
just
Sucked
watched.
me right in Beast Wars,
remember a
man.
lot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Beast Wars
Yeah,
got
they had-
good too. I
They had
remember.
good stories. Yeah.
I remember really enjoying it too. I mean, I probably can't tell you anything about any episodes, but I know I did watch, the
Sure.
entirety of Beast Wars. I remember really, really digging it. And, even now, there are high-end Beast Wars figures,
Yeah.
Masterpiece or whatever you want to call them, but, and they look really nice, right? But yeah, Generation 1 is big for me because I have a lot of just remember it fondly as a kid and the collecting the toys and watching the film. So Rob, did you collect G1 growing up?
My connection to G1 is the box art. Is going into stores and seeing them figures on the shelves, and just the artwork they did was incredible, man. It was really. And I would get the toy home, and it was so complex, most of them, to transform, that I lost interest pretty fast in playing with them. But just every time I went to the store, the box art and the way they looked in the package, they just hit a home run with that.
Oh,
big time home run with that.
I agree. I mean, just what you're saying, and just in my memory, just thinking about the Optimus Prime in the window box. Right.
Any of them, any of the Seekers. Oh my God, that's one thing I'm probably going to get is the Seekers. I want
just
the
remember
fans.
going to Toys R Us, and they used to have like the whole section, and just seeing those boxes was something else.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything. Like I was just looking at it. And,
Yeah.
I mean, even now, like I was at Walmart the other day, and they're bringing out the reissues, and they had Blaster there. Even though I already have a G1 Blaster, but I was just looking at it, and the box art is the same. It's the same box basically.
Yeah.
It brings back that feeling seeing them.
Yeah, definitely.
I think I
I
actually
agree.
saw a hot rod in Walgreens a couple weeks back.
Oh God.
I actually bought a hot rod maybe like a year ago when they first reissued them.
Yeah.
I'm upset because
I would have drop kicked them
much.
across the store.
Man, hot rod getting some hate tonight.
Yeah.
No hot rod. No.
But I think we played with Transformers till we were 14, 15 years old. But I played with G.I. Joe till I was like 22. And then it was like, I remember, I don't know if you remember Paul Dolson from up the street, Ben, but I remember he was over one day, and my girlfriend was coming. She stopped by. I didn't know she was coming over. And we had like G.I. Joe set up. My parents were in Sea Isle for the couple weeks they were in Sea Isle. Yeah. And we had, all the G.I. Joe set up, and we had the war going on. And she knocks on the door. Boom, boom, boom. And I was like, oh, my God, it's Amanda.
That's hilarious.
And I heard of it. I shut off all the lights, dude. I didn't even let her in the house that day.
That is hilarious.
Oh, you couldn't? What are you talking about? You couldn't let her in.
Yeah, it was done. It was done after that.
I think it was shortly after that I stopped playing with, toys. But I was seriously like 21, 22. But then, I mean, collected for years after that. But actually playing with them, yeah.
So my lady, she messes with me now because I'll be sitting on the couch just transform. Because I love transform. I know some people don't like the complex because a lot of the third parties are complex.
Right.
Take like an hour to get them into the alt modes, but I like it. I like doing that. So I'll sit there and play with them for a couple hours. I don't have the war. I left that when having the war, having fighting, but
Yeah, but there's still something. There's something about opening the package and like you said, just not playing with it, but transforming and holding it. It's the toys they make now are such quality that it's amazing stuff.
Yeah,
I agree.
What you wanted, like I look at Masterpiece and the third party is like what you envisioned the toy was when you were young. Because, you look at the G1 now, the toys, and they're like, like flip the arms out, flip the legs out, and you're good.
Yeah.
But when we were kids, they were like, we thought they were what was on the screen almost.
It's what we had. It's what we had,
Yeah, except for Ratchet and Ironhide. We got those and was like, what's this?
Yeah, what is this? Yeah, I agree.
They were really bad figures.
Yeah, they were just, they were just.
That was just Hasbro making money, man. That was
exactly.
Hasbro making money.
They were like, we ain't changing them. We're taking them straight from Diaco, I think they came from.
Yeah. Even the Prime, as great as a nostalgic feel that the Optimus Prime figure gives you, it wasn't a great figure, right? I mean, the legs came down, the arms came out, and the head popped up.
You had the fist that you had to put in.
Yeah, the fist that you had to put in.
Lost the fist.
What are you guys doing right now? It's Optimus, man. Stop it. But we talk about Hot Rod.
No, I love it, and I got a G1 Optimus.
I love G1 Optimus.
I do.
It's a great
with the trailer. Oh no!
Don't get me wrong. It's the trailer was probably better than the figure.
Yeah, it was. It came with roller and had all the stuff inside. Yeah.
But I mean, for the time and it was a great figure. Yeah, absolutely.
The worst was Megatron though. He was bad, man.
Yeah,
in gun mode he was awesome because you can run around the yard with him.
He looked like a real gun. Like
yeah.
Couldn't get away with it now, but
In robot mode he had the little piece sticking out of his crotch and all that.
Yeah, he looked insane.
Ironhide and Ratchet were really bad though. Like they were really bad.
They were the top for being bad because they didn't even have no heads. Like it was that little face in there.
Yeah.
Oh shit. So last night I was thinking about us doing this today, and I actually found a meme that made me like really laugh, and I have to show it to you guys. So I'm going to share my screen here If I can figure out how to do it. Present. Screen. All right, and tell me if you guys can see my screen okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Robot that transforms into a vehicle. Robot whose head is another robot that transforms into a head. Robot whose head is another robot holding a gun that's also dude, this cracked me up last night. I couldn't...
and you know what? That's hilarious because that's probably one of the reasons Fortress Maximus is one of my favorite characters. Even though everybody says he's a born Titan, like, but I know most people's Metroplex, but
yeah.
But I just always love Fortress Maximus because of that. Because I was like, oh, his head comes off and turns into a robot. Then his head comes off and turns into a robot. I was like, oh no, like I got 3 fingers in one. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I thought of that last night.
I wish I had a G1.
I thought about that. That's exactly what I thought about was Fortress Maximus. Like the head, you know, the head of the head turns into robots, and I was, man, this is funny. It just cracked me up.
That's
last
hilarious.
night.
Fort Max was tons of play value. Tons of play value in Fort Max, man. You won't see toys like that no more. You know,
No.
that's not coming out.
Dude, I don't. Could they even make it anymore? Just as a production?
Well, they're actually, Fans Toys, one of the third-party companies, is trying to make a third-party one, and it's like 4 feet tall.
Oh,
Damn.
wow.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane looking, the mock-ups, but I don't know. They're having some issues right now, I think, with Hasbro. So who knows if it's ever gonna come out?
Yeah,
But I have the what is it? Titans Return. I have that Fort Max. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I have the Fort Max from the Headmasters, where he was just a normal sized robot.
okay.
Yeah, from the head. And see, like I said, I got into the Japanese side of things late, so I see all these characters. Like they have a lot of characters, like a lot of great characters, and they seem to be making toys for all of them. So I don't have enough money. Like it's just too much.
Yeah, us too. And I think that's one of the like I see our, the Deadpool, and I bought this Star Wars robot the other day. Like I'm into everything right now, Ben, except like Transformers. I'm buying NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I'm buying Marvel Legends and a Star Wars figure.
Well, that's a lot. Like
it is.
Yeah.
Legends seem they're
Marvel
coming
Legends.
out with every single character. Like that's insane.
Yep.
I'm glad I don't collect Legends.
Yeah.
I thought about it a couple times, but
the beauty of it is that you could just do what you want and being fine. You don't have to do the whole everything.
That's true.
And
you don't have to be a completionist.
And Rob and
I struggle with that.
Yeah, us too.
With Transformers.
Yep. And we started collecting, tried to get everything Legends, but it's just too much. I mean, there was a point, there was a month or two here that 4 or 5 different waves came out of you get a case and then another case and then another case. Dude, you're looking at $120 per case, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to focus on the X-Men ones and the Spider-Man ones. I think Rob's doing the same besides.
And that's a good thing though. Like you can do that. Like there's different factions, for lack of a better term. Like
man, they suck me in though, man.
Yeah, I know. If you see, I look at them every time I go down the toy aisle. Like if I'm in the store, I see something new.
Just got this War Machine. This damn War Machine is beautiful. Now I want the Iron Mans. They just keep pulling me back in, man. Just goddamn Marvel Legends.
Yep.
And I love them.
But and I think I've always wanted to start collecting Transformers again. Especially the Masterpiece and the Masterpiece stuff. And we've talked about this. Rob and I have talked. I was like, Rob, I really want to get into Masterpiece Transformers. And one of the biggest issues that I've seen, and say I wanted the newer version of Masterpiece Megatron, right? So then I go on, can't find it from Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, or anything like that. So I go on eBay, right? And there's no way really for you to tell unless the seller is honest that it's a knockoff, right?
Yeah, now, there's a few that are like that. There's a few companies that are doing one-to-one knockoffs, and they're actually better than the original, so it's even worse because you can't tell. Like unless, like you said, unless somebody's honest. I had a third party, what I got, Chrome Dome and Hardhead,
Okay.
and they're like great figures, but they ended up being knockoffs. But on the listing, it was the original, which it was a third party company. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and there's rumblings that the third party company may be making the knockoffs. That's the other thing it gets, you can go down a rabbit hole because
Oh yeah.
oh, wow.
some of the third party companies may be making these knockoffs too, just trying to corner the market, which I don't blame them. Like if somebody's gonna make a knockoff, might as well be me, like making a knockoff and charging less for it. But because that's how good the figure is as a KO. But if you want the original, like I wanted the original, I thought I was paying for the original and not the knockoff one. So it is an issue. There's a couple. I know I think THF makes a Megatron and a Soundwave that looks just like the Masterpiece. So yeah, you know, if you, like you said, if it's not a honest person, you could be getting a knockoff.
You don't know what you're
You'll
getting.
know when you get the box. Well, unless they have a box. Then you have that. Then you have that. Like they have, you know, Masterpiece boxes. It's people. I know people that sell their Masterpiece boxes. I don't know what for. I guess just to get rid of them if people's going to buy them. But I'm assuming people are buying them to do this, which is something that I don't like. So I wouldn't want to sell it to somebody that's trying to get somebody like that.
And
It's
so
difficult.
So it could be, you could buy a knockoff on eBay. It could be better or it could be worse than the original, right? You don't.
You don't know. I mean, generally speaking, most of the knockoffs cut corners, so they are worse.
Right.
But there are a few. One company in particular, Wei Zhang, which just got shut down in China by Hasbro. But they just brought sanctions to them. They were making. I got a couple of their figures because they make upscale versions of the Masterpiece. So I kind of, I mean, it's a slippery slope at the same time, but I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm getting into. I know it's a knockoff. I'm not trying, it's not the one-to-one version. They're not trying to sell it as the one-to-one version.
At least
so that's kind of how I justify it for myself. I mean, everybody's different.
Sure.
But I do got an Optimus Prime and a Megatron that's upscale, so it's way bigger than just because I just like the way it looked. And that figure is actually way better than the original MP10.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. So they just fix some of the things, and it's easy in hindsight to fix stuff too, in the mold. So that's another thing why some of the knockoff companies, but that company shut down, so you're not gonna see that company.
Yeah, it sounds like a rabbit hole to jump in.
It is. There's a lot of third-party companies that are like at the top of their game, like Fans Toys I mentioned earlier. They are making, but they seem to be having a bit of a trouble too because they may be getting maybe a cease. I don't know. I just made a video about that. I didn't post it yet, but
okay.
They weren't. They have a lot of figures down the pipe, and their figures are great. They're great figures. They're expensive, but they're not as expensive as Masterpiece, and they seem to be better to me than the Hasbro Masterpiece.
Okay.
Hey Ben, real quick, can you, just for the novice that doesn't know Transformers, and we're throwing out a lot of like Masterpiece, GI1, can you break it down? Like, can you do a little timeline on how stuff came down?
Well, they actually Masterpiece, and I say Masterpiece is usually said to describe a certain scale and aesthetic that was created by Hasbro. Hasbro created the Masterpiece line, which is basically what it says. It's supposed to be like the tip top of the Transformer. And like I said, everything you've seen on screen is basically what the figure looks like or it should look like. They try to make it
so it's more accurate to the show or the movie show. Or
now when they first started, they were making like third party companies they just described them as masterpiece because they were in scale with the Hasbro stuff, and they also look like the Hasbro stuff or aesthetically somewhat like the Hasbro stuff. They were screen accurate, but they had some cues as far as real world stuff. So they were like a mixture of maybe the toy and the cartoon.
Okay, right.
Then you had the Chug stuff, which was a smaller scale. It's more like the mainstream. I always forget what Chug stands for. It's I know it's Generations, Universe, high. The Chinese, I mean the Japanese name.
Okay.
I always forget, but they call it Chug. It's it's just a smaller scale. It's more of the mainstream stuff, more of that scale. So third party was also making that type of stuff too, which it didn't scale with the masterpiece stuff, but it was like a higher quality toy.
So they had masterpiece, and then they had third party, and that's two separate things, right?
Yeah, masterpiece and third party is two separate things, but basically they say the third party, they're making masterpiece stuff. And then you have legend size, which all these terms come from Hasbro, of course, and it's just their scale that they use, like Legends and Deluxe and Voyager.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, so the Legends were always the small stuff. So that's just like they started making masterpiece. Let me see if I could grab something real quick. Like they started making say
Oh wow.
Soundwave is almost like a masterpiece, but it's Legends. It's very, very small, like extremely small.
Yeah, that's nice though. That's
my phone. So
oh yeah.
You see how small it is. But the transformation is intricate, like all the cassettes are intricate and look just like the cartoon. So that's big now, and I think that's due to maybe some of the masterpiece things being shut down.
No, is that aftermarket? Is that like a third party?
Yeah, that's third party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
That's third party.
So you ain't going to, Walmart and finding that.
No, you can't buy that at Walmart.
Okay.
And like that legend stuff, I'm kind of in for that too, which is more money. I mean, it's cheaper. It's a lot cheaper than Masterpiece.
Sure.
But they're like little Masterpiece, and they all have different scales now. So there's like 3 or 4 companies that are making the Legends.
So are they doing like a complete line of Legends? Like, is it?
They seem to be.
Okay.
I have a few. I seem to buy Legends, the ones that I don't either have an affinity for or I don't have a Masterpiece representation of. I don't know why, because sometimes I feel like I'm buying the same figure twice. It's just smaller. I think that's how I rationalize it in my head. But
you're a collector, and that's fine.
Yeah. So interesting. And I think that's one of my biggest issues is trying to get into Transformers as a whole. Like I can't even pinpoint. I had no idea about what the figures you just talked about. The Legends at that size, I had no idea they were even out, right? So if I was going to get into Transformers tomorrow, I'd want cartoon accurate, right? And I'd want a line that's going to be in scale with everything. So what do I do? Would I get into Masterpiece? And you said Fans Toys was probably the best third party company to look at, right?
Yeah, give or take. I know Fans Toys get a lot of hate, but when you're at the top, you usually get people that just don't like them for whatever reason because they're popular, and some people may genuinely not like them because they are very cartoon accurate. I know some of the figures I don't like super cartoon accurate because it's just some of the designs weren't great, so they don't really translate into the figure well. I'd rather have a kind of mixture. Make a good looking figure, but I think like Huffer, like recently Fans Toys released a little preview of their Huffer, and the arms are like kind of down, and that's how he was in the cartoon. Like his arms were,
All right.
weird looking. So they were like in the middle of his body. Like I would like them moved up a little bit, and some companies do.
Right.
It still looks like it's still a good representation. It still looks like the character, but
Right.
it's all people's preference though. Either way. But I think Fans Toys is one of the best. They just released the Astro Train that is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh cool.
what scale is it? Fans Toys. What scale is that?
Masterpiece. Yeah, they're only
Masterpiece, so they're bigger.
Yeah, so they're big, and they're in scale with anything like Takara. They're basically in scale. And see, you go down, it's different because some companies are doing smaller scale, but they're still considered masterpiece because of the aesthetic. And I think it's all how you view it. Like there's a company Zeta that does combiners. They've done combiners, and I have their Superion, and it's super. I don't know how tall it is, 23 inches or something like that.
Okay.
It's combined, but they have me too, and they have a parts forming part that some people don't like parts forming as well. But there's a part in the middle that you basically stick on, and that's what gives it the bulk and makes it that big, because it's almost impossible to have 5 robots be that big when they're combined, unless you make Silverbolt super big. Like you had to make him crazy big, and he wouldn't be in scale with the rest of them. So
I forget what it's called, but like in the show they had it called mass something.
Mass shifting.
Yeah. It's hard to replicate that. It's hard. It's because Megatron was because he went from a small gun to a huge robot. Same with Soundwave. He went from a cassette to a. So they justified that later on by mass. What is it called?
Mass shifting. Yeah.
Mass shifting. Yeah. So but that's not realistic in toys.
No.
You can't.
And the only Fans Toys is probably the only company that pulled it off with their Stunticons.
Okay.
Because some people, I have 2. Well, they only have 3 out. I have all 3.
I don't even know who that is.
Metasaur, is that they combined into
Metasaur,
Metasaur?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the robots in the show, depending on what, and G1 scale is crazy too, because as you know, everybody that watched G1, it was all over the place sometimes.
Sure.
And colors and different things. They had a whole bunch of errors. So sometimes in the show, the Stunticons were the same height as all 5 of them were the same height, and they were the same height as Megatron. Some people think they're the same because they're the same height as the Autobot cars as robots, but they weren't.
No.
And I guess it just depends on what you're looking at and how you feel about it. But Fans Toys actually made the cars the same size as the Autobot cars, Masterpiece cars that have been out, but the robots are bigger when you transform them somehow. They got the mass shifting together. So I think that's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, that is cool. So I would want things that are cartoon accurate, pretty much in scale with each other too. So if I went out tomorrow and decided I'm going to spend some money, I'm going to buy Hot Rod Cup, Blur.
Oh God, I can't get away from him.
Optimus, but I want them all in scale with each other. And I think it might be quite difficult now to find something.
There's a number of reasons that it's difficult.
Yeah.
For one, Fans Toys always sells out, and the secondary market is insane. If you don't pre-order Fans Toys, you're not getting it.
I had no
idea. Now, Fans Toys, like you wouldn't be able to get a Fans Toys. Maybe a couple. There's maybe a couple that reissue, but they don't reissue either. That's why the secondary market most of the time.
Is it a Japanese release? Is it?
Yeah, I believe they're all.
So how do you order them to the US? What do you usually?
It depends. There's a lot of retailers that sell.
Big Bad Toy Store gets most of them too.
BBTS. You got TF
Bluefin.
Even though I don't really like TF Source that much, but they always get breached. That's why. But that's another story.
I've been to their site, TF Source.
I love their site. The way it's set up, it's easy to see stuff. but I also, I've had issues with my credit card with them. So
So
that's
they
not
seem to be
good.
a little bit
give
more
or take.
expensive as well, I think.
Yeah, sometimes they are. You got Chosen Prime. You got smaller people that sell also, like East Coast Toys. I think it's like a one man operation.
Okay.
Um, yeah, DS Icons. It's like one man operations that I guess they order them from China. You can also order them direct from China, which it is cheaper. Which you have like TF Direct or there's a couple places, but it
Okay.
does take longer. If you want it here in a couple of weeks, you're not going to go to those places because they're going to take maybe a month to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
here. Yeah, because it's coming from
Right.
overseas, especially now. So it just takes a lot longer. But like I was saying, that would be the difficult thing would be to find a Fans Toys product. Like say, I think one of their lesser toys is Weird Wolf. Like it wasn't that great. It looked great, but as playability, it looked great on the shelf, but it wasn't really that great. It didn't have that much articulation. But I think it's selling for like $550 right now.
Okay.
I think when it came out, it was like $135.
Yeah, that's a markup. Yeah.
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 And even Astro Train just came out. I pre-ordered. I just got mine. I actually have another pre-order for one and they didn't even receive theirs yet. Hopefully they get theirs at BBTS. But that came out before they were just shipping them, and I guess some people got theirs early. It was on eBay for $600.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean,
They do seem like whether you buy Masterpiece or Fans Toys they do seem to hold their value and go up at least, as opposed to a lot of toy lines that sometimes you struggle to get your money back or whatever. But it does seem like it is a good investment, as well as if you enjoy them, that's great. But it does seem like a good line too that you could possibly invest in or get your money back if you ever got into a jam and had to sell them.
yeah, I think right now Fans Toys is. Some of the others are not because they do a lot of reissues. They do a lot
Okay.
of so if you miss out, it's not so much an issue. People are not going to want to flock to eBay and buy because they'll just wait it out because they know they do reissues. But Fans Toys don't seem to do a lot of reissues, so that's why I think their market value and they're one of the best.
Cool.
So I just think their market value just goes through the roof. Masterpiece official Takara's Masterpiece. I'm not sure. I know they've gotten up there in price as far as, and that's the other reason a lot of people are going to just strictly third party because they can get a comparable figure for less price. Because their new Prime, the MP44 that just came out, and that's probably the one that you would want.
Right.
But when it first came out, it was like $450, I think. And personally, I don't think it was worth that. You have two others that you could get, which is TE01, I believe. That's probably that. A lot of people say that's the best Prime for your money. I think that's like $135. And
Okay. Yeah. So
So are they all the same scale?
yeah, they're all the same scale.
They're all Masterpiece scale?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
so
And the one I got,
I was
No, go
looking
ahead.
at that Prime, the MP44 at brand new release, $450.
yeah,
I remember walking into Toys R Us not that long ago. I mean, obviously before they were closed, but and they had a Prime and a Masterpiece Prime in a window box, dude. I think it was $100, $150 with
yeah, that's
Spike.
probably
Yep.
yeah, that's MP10.
MP10.
That
Yeah, I
that's
think
what
yes. But $150. I was like, for a good looking Prime, that's not a bad price.
Oh, MP10 is still, even though it's older and I mean they keep releasing new primes.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably one of the best primes they ever came out with, especially official. If you want official prime,
Right.
Yeah, I love MP10. Like I got a couple. I got the upscale version MP10. That's the upscale version I was talking about earlier,
Nice.
and I got the official one. So I mean, MP10 will always. I probably never sell that.
Oh, cool. And
Yeah.
I couldn't believe the price difference when you want to, okay, I want to get a Masterpiece Transformers. Let me look at the obvious first one I want to buy. Hot Rod. No, just, Optimus. And it was $450. Like, wow, okay. So if I want, yeah.
that would turn you away from
Yeah.
collecting, and that's not the norm. That's one of the gripes that people are having with Takara. And I don't know if it's because of I think they lost a couple of IPs or they sold. I don't know. I can't remember what's going on, but it seemed to be around that time when they either lost their couple of IPs. I don't know what it was, what line it was, but it was a good chunk of change, I would think. And even though they're Hasbro, they got it, but it just was around that time, and it seemed peculiar that their masterpiece figures just started going up pre-release, and the new Starscream that's coming out is $275, and it's not worth it. And they had, what was it? They had another mold. This might be 3.0. I don't know, but they just keep releasing. I don't need all those secret molds. Like they have some good third-party secret molds, like, and the cone heads. So
that's what I always tell Greg. It's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. If somebody's willing to buy it, they're gonna keep making it.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's true. A lot of people got MP44, and a lot of people wasn't happy. And it looked like a great figure. I don't have it because of that. Like, I don't think it's worth it to me. But right. Like you said, Rob, whatever you're willing to pay for, you win. Like, if you feel like that's worth it to you, it's worth it to you. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And seeing that figure, the $450 Prime, I was like, okay, well, before I saw the price, I was like, let me see if I can get Megatron, Prime, and Starscream. And it was like $450 for Prime. Couldn't find a real Megatron, and if I did, it was $600 on eBay. And then the Starscream was another. You couldn't find. They're all knockoffs. Mm-hmm. And I think that was about $300-400 for a knockoff. And I'm like, holy crap, 3 figures is going to get me up in the $1,200 range. And normally, like me and Rob talk about this a lot, that we do a lot of custom stuff. There's guys painting like Star Wars heads and custom Mego figures and stuff that I collect. So it doesn't bother me to pay that much if it's you're basically paying for you're paying for a piece of art or a great piece that's exactly what you want, right? Cartoon accurate, and it's the exact scale you want. So it doesn't bother me, but it just threw me back a little bit. Like, man, to get into these, this is going to take a little bit of money at first, unless I start smaller. I think I saw a Wreck-Gar from a third-party company. I don't know if it was Fan Toys or not, but that Wreck-Gar looks sick, man. That Wreck-Gar.
Yeah, I got that Wreck-Gar. It's KFC.
KFC, right?
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's a decent figure. They have a iffy reputation.
No, okay.
Just because, but I think it's like a couple guys, and that's the thing about third party too. There's a lot of third party companies that they're borrowing factory time. They're like 2 or 3 guys that just have a passion for it that are making these figures. So it's kind of amazing.
So they're kind of like customs then.
Yeah.
They're kind of like customs. Okay.
Yeah. On a bigger scale.
I know they make add-on kits for the masterpiece figures too, right? Like you can actually change up a whole Starscream, add like a crown or whatever. I remember seeing stuff like that before. Not familiar with it, but I remember seeing stuff about it. Just add-ons, like Devastator might add some add-ons, right, and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, that's another thing. Devastator. Trying to find a masterpiece Devastator. Isn't there like 6 or 7 of them? Or
I'm gonna tell you, Toy World is the best one.
Okay.
If you're gonna get that one.
Toy World.
It's pretty expensive, but it's
so many companies with this.
It's a lot of companies.
Devastator is one I would really want if I got into this.
I don't have a Toy World Devastator. I want one. And they actually have a couple versions. They have like with the dirty version, like dirty.
Okay.
I can't think of it, like battle damage almost.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you this much: we're gonna have to do another episode, Ben. You're gonna have to bring up some pictures and really visuals. Like even if it's off your computer or whatever, you want to share your screen and just take me through a visual of all this because.
I definitely believe we should do that.
Definitely.
Rob's going to get into it too and get the Devastator first.
Yeah, I can sell that card I told you about earlier.
Actually, there's a guy on Instagram, Leak Customs. I'm not affiliated with him, but his work is amazing as far as he does like cell shaded So it looks like the cartoon, and the figures are amazing. I wish I could show one. But he just his paint work is insane. And for that style, like if you want that style, I think that's all he does. But he's so backed up with commissions that people send figures, and he shows most of it. Like he takes it all apart and paints each part, puts it back together.
Cell shades each piece.
Yeah, and ships it back, and it's not too much. I mean, as far as money wise, I don't know how much it is. It's probably expensive, but which granted, the work he does, it's probably worth it. But I don't know, like as far as looking at it, it's not too much. You know, some things is better less, and just what he does, he doesn't like overdo it. That's what it looks like. Yeah, it just is amazing actually.
Greg, I would advise you take your time, get with Ben, and really see which way you want to go before you put money on anything. Don't jump into nothing with this.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot. Like
yeah,
and I know a lot, but I know guys that know more than me that been in it longer than me, and it's like a never-ending rabbit hole that you go down with.
It sounds like it. Yeah,
it does.
Each I mean, I think you're Greg. You're coming at it how you should. Like you're like, okay, this is what characters I want. This is how I want to start. I think that's a great way to start, because if you're just like looking at stuff, I think that's how I started. Like I just was looking at stuff. I was buying stuff, and then I was buying stuff that I shouldn't have been buying. Like I didn't like.
Right.
At the end of the day, I was like, why do I have this? Half that stuff is sold that I bought when I first started, not recouped. Like sold at a loss. So.
And I think we do that a lot, Rob. We want something, we just dive headfirst into it.
I don't know. I think I've been, as I gotten older, I tend to want to research and find out a little bit more about it, because it's not cheap.
Right.
You're talking $1,200 for 3 figures. That's expensive.
It is.
That's big money.
Yeah.
Jumping into Legends is $20 a figure. Whatever. That's not a big deal.
Right.
But
even the
Legends you're talking about
getting up there, like, and that's what's crazy too, because the Legends are getting so popular that their prices are starting to creep up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's cheaper than Masterpiece, but yeah, it's still, their price is creeping.
I always joke with Rob, like, thank God I'm not addicted to heroin, because every toy I start buying, I like. Dive in head first, and I need, these 10 first to, thank God I don't have a needle sticking out my arm right now. Oh, look at this new collection I'm buying.
So with that, Ben, I would love to go through like a visual, almost like a encyclopedia with you, and learn a lot more and pick your brain a little bit more with this. And how do you feel about the movies?
The Michael Bay ones, right?
the Bay movies.
Like I said, I thought the first one was okay, and I think it was somewhat seeing a live action Transformers movie that I never thought would be made. I think that added to me thinking the first one was great. Because when I first saw it, I thought it was great. I was like, "Oh, I saw it like 4 times."
Me too. I love it. I still love the first one.
And it's not a bad film. It's not a bad film. I mean, it still has Michael Bay touches,
right?
Explosions for no reason, like stuff like that is just Michael Bay's signature.
Explosions and stuff
for nothing, like for no reason. Yeah. But it's not terrible. But the other ones just branched up. There's no cohesion to them, to me, and the character models. I hate the character models. I know some people love them, and I think that's more, like we said earlier, like the kids that grew, because there's some kids that this is all they know of Transformers.
Right, the movie stuff.
Like movies, yeah.
Right,
so
right.
It's to them like G1 is the us, and so I look at it like that. But
okay.
I don't know. It just lost me. I mean,
feelings. I love that first one. I mean, I've seen it 100 times. I love it, but I've seen the second one, I've seen the third one, and then I just let it all go after that. I can't watch them. They're unwatchable to me. You know, even the second and third one. Like it's
Well, the
just
second one is like 3 movies in one.
it's horrible.
My wife loved the first one, and you know we were dating when the second one came out, and we took her 2 cousins to see the second one. And I'm sitting in the theater, and I'm like, man, I might have to walk out of this. I might have to walk out of this. Like, didn't Devastator have balls?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And I don't think I even saw the third one, fourth one. I don't know. I think there's a fifth one. It was like the Knights of something or whatever. I don't think I've ever saw that one. So, you know, the first one, okay, it was okay in my mind. I'll give you that. I didn't hate it like I did the second one. I might have started watching the third one too when I was bored one day, but I don't think I got that far into that. But they remind me of a big disappointment. There was a few years back, I was so excited for the Lone Ranger film that came out, right? And I thought, oh my God, I can't wait to go to the theater and see the Lone Ranger. And me and my wife went to the theater, and we sat down for the Lone Ranger. And it was like, what the fuck is this thing? My wife was sitting next to me laughing hysterically, like the horse Silver was in a tree, and Tonto was like, look at Silver, he's in a tree. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst movie I've ever seen. And the Lone Ranger was probably my biggest disappointment over the last few years. But the second and third Transformer films, just I don't remember them finally. I just remember them like the prequel Star Wars films. Like you just wanted to get out of the theater.
Yeah.
When Obi-Wan Kenobi jumped on the green lizard, he's like, yeah, jumping around the screen, like, okay, I'm done. Or Shia LaBeouf swinging from the vine in the last Indiana Jones film and going, oh, and you're like, I'm done. I don't want to see this film anymore. But
yeah, it's funny because my son liked them. You know, he was young when I took him to go see him, and that's probably the only reason I went to see all of them.
Okay.
Because he likes all the movies, like all the movies, like all the action adventure movies. So we went to every single one.
That's cool.
And I have all of them on Blu-ray. So
nice.
I don't even think I watched them on Blu-ray. He might have watched them, but I don't even think I paid attention to them.
But you nailed it earlier, Ben. You said, this is their generation. This is their, this is their Transformers.
I feel bad for them,
nothing wrong with that. You go back and watch the old G1 the cartoons. They're corny. They're hard to watch.
It's not the greatest. I can admit G1 wasn't the greatest story-wise. Yeah, they were all over the place.
But back then, man, they were Bible.
Yeah, and I still like I still watch them now. I mean, I'm on my phone and doing other stuff, but it keeps my attention a little bit.
How many times a month I pull up the Transformers movie? You got to touch. Hot Rod doing his pulling the Matrix apart. Rob,
I just see Days with a hat off running across the beach every time I hear that. I don't know why.
Ben, boy. I love the '86 Transformers film. I love it, dude. I think it is the best.
I watch that often.
Yeah. I got like 3 copies on Blu-ray, and I don't know what the difference is, but every time a new one came out, I bought it. But I love that film. I think it's the best Transformers film to date.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not going to bash Hot Rod.
I agree.
I will put that animated film up against the first Michael Bay film, and it'll win.
Because I'd rather watch the first Michael Bay myself.
You got the touch, Rob.
Yeah. Fuck Hot Rod. That's all I can tell you.
No, Rodimus Prime.
Fuck Hot Rod, man.
No. Dude, I like the characters in the film. I like Cup. I like Blur. I like Springer. I like RC. And I want them all as masterpiece Transformers. Yeah. I want them all.
Yes.
That traumatized kids, man, that movie. That's not... Come on now.
It
is a good movie. It's a really good movie. Besides Hot Rod, all jokes aside, I just have an affection for that first Transformer movie. I don't know why, and I can't stand the actors in it, but it just
Right.
worked. Whatever it is about it just works. That first one, and it's cut wrong. There's scenes that are off.
Uh,
But it just works, man. It
I like
just
it. I like it too. Like I said, I think it was because it was a live action Transformers movie. Like
yeah,
thought I
they
would
look
see.
good, man.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see.
That first scene, I always loved the scene with I think Blackout. I think that's the name. The
Oh
helicopter.
yeah.
When he transformed, like I was done. Like,
Oh,
and I think that was, that's why I like the first movie. Like that.
even them running through the desert with
Yeah,
Scorponok,
yeah. Yeah. I was like, this ain't Scorponok, but it was, So like I just
I'm gonna have to watch it again because it's been many years. I tried to put it out of my mind.
Fair enough.
But I'll have to watch it again. I just know those last films were not good. They just were not good.
No.
But Bumblebee wasn't too bad. I agree. I sat down and watched Bumblebee. I didn't think that was terrible.
I don't think it was terrible. Had a couple things in there I didn't like, but for the most part, I thought it was better than the rest of them.
In the beginning, the throwbacks, you saw Shockwave and
that first, I could have watched the whole movie. The first 10 minutes,
Yeah,
I could have watched the whole movie like that.
Yep. And did you see Bumblebee, Rob?
No, I never seen it.
It's worth checking out. It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
first 10 minutes, though, that was it for me. I was like, I want a whole movie like this.
Yes.
And that's it. Not spoil anything.
The first 10 minutes makes you think you're back in G1, like you're back in G1 land. It just like they did a very good job of you're on Cybertron and you see the G1 versions of the robots, and I think they just did a fantastic job. And then it goes to Earth, but it's worth the watch, believe it or not. And Shayla Bow and Megan Fox are not in the film. It's new characters.
I think it's a good story too. It's like it's a. I guess I would not say a love story, but it's kind of like the boy in his car. But I mean, it's like a girl in her car.
Yeah. It's really cool.
It's charming, but
Okay.
Yeah, it's got some action in it too.
Now, are they doing Masterpiece Bay formers?
Yes.
They are. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, the studio series was made for the Bay movies. It's more made for the movies, but they were, they started with all of the Bay formers, which is what they're
right. So that's going to bring me into the next subject. Is the studio series was and is currently for the movie bots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and are they kind of considered like a higher end of Hasbro figure?
Yeah, they're mainly. And what's funny is they have Studio Masterpiece.
Oh.
And they have the Studio series.
Okay.
So that's even confusing in the main line. So the Masterpiece is, of course, more detailed and better figures.
In a higher cost.
In a higher cost. Actually, Ratchet? The black truck. That was Ratchet, right? In the movies?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I don't either. But his Masterpiece was, when it first came out, it was like $119, but you can get it at Ross for like $24 now. Everybody's buying them at Ross, the Masterpiece Studio Series.
Wow.
Trying to flip them.
Wow.
So yeah, but you can find, but it's like that all over. Like they have the Blitzwing from which we all thought it was Starscream from the Bumblebee movie, but they called him Blitzwing. And,
right.
I think his studio series Masterpiece is like $119 also, but it'll probably be on sale pretty soon.
Now, I would not buy those as a Masterpiece.
No, I have zero.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a studio series Jetfire, which I just thought it looked cool, which I stopped that. I stopped buying stuff that looks cool because it's too much. It's too much.
I agree. Here,
I just want to buy stuff I'm connected to now.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all.
Here, because you get them home when you buy stuff like that. Like for me, you get it home and you're like, "Yay, this is a cool figure and it looks cool," but then It's just ended up wherever. It's probably in a box somewhere when I moved.
So
Yeah, there we go.
here you go, Rob. I am all in for this one.
And that's
That looks
actually
good.
probably one of the best looking ones that I've seen.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Out of all the new studio figures.
And I
Yeah.
think these are $20 a piece, price point wise.
Wow, that's
Um,
not bad.
I'm not sure how much.
and I am just. Didn't Jazz die in the first 10 minutes of the film, or did he? No, he made it to the end, didn't he? He wasn't.
Yeah, they didn't show him a lot, but I think
Yeah,
he did.
yeah, yeah. But man, look at Cup,
Yeah,
and
that cup doesn't look bad at all. And he has his arms and legs that come off.
Wow.
you know,
Mimic the movie.
I think these are really, really cool and really no. There's that meme again. Scourge, I think looks
I
okay.
actually pre-ordered Scourge because I don't have a Scourge. I want a Masterpiece Scourge, but the one that's out, I don't know about it. It's like 185, and I'm just not sure about it. I've heard some things. That's not the greatest, so I think I'm gonna wait it out before I get a Masterpiece Scourge. So I got this pre-ordered.
No, nice.
It's not gonna fit in, but I need a Scourge. I want a Scourge.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be its own kind of line too, right? It's something that you'd have on another shelf.
That wheelie, yeah, definitely. That wheelie actually comes with Grimlock.
Right. Yes, it does. Hang on, I don't know why it's Oh, because that's the last picture. Can I go back? Yeah,
Grimlock I pre-ordered too. He looks pretty good.
I did too. I got him. There's Grimlock,
Ooh, I like that.
and Wheelie goes on his back.
Oh wow. Yeah.
There's some box art, but man, I am all in for this line. This, as much as I want to do Masterpiece, I might be holding out for these and just going with this line.
This might be, I mean, you could, like I said, the video I just did talking about fans toys and maybe Hasbro sending them a cease and desist, maybe, possibly.
Okay.
This would be the reason. This is one of the reasonings because they're starting to get into this movie stuff more,
Right.
and these characters, and I mean, it's give or take. Who knows if they really did or not? But I could see business wise, I could see them saying, "Oh, well, we're about to get in this realm, and the figures are looking a lot better than the ones at Walmart." So, but I even bought some of the Earthrise figures. Like I have Earthrise Scorpionaut. I got a few Earthrise figures because they look pretty great too. I think they're starting to make their figures a lot better.
That's the Hasbro's main line, right?
Yeah, main line. Yeah.
Transformers Earthrise. Was that all based? Was that based off the Netflix special or the Netflix?
It will. Well, that's coming because
Okay.
it's 3 parts. They have the War for Cybertron Siege, which was the first
Okay, right.
8 episodes or 6 episodes. Then they're doing, I believe, Earthrise, and then it's Kingdom, which they're gonna start doing some of the Beast Wars, and they look good too. The Beast Wars figures.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that they're gonna do in the main line.
So the only one that I'm not that excited about of the '86 movie was the last one I showed was Blur. I think they could.
I don't think he looks that great.
I don't think it looks that great either. But
The Masterpiece Blur is fantastic. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. See, and there's the problem. You just nailed it, Ben. Like, okay, so I'm gonna get this Blur from Studio Series. He's gonna look kind of crappy, so that's gonna make me want a Masterpiece Blur, which is the better one. And then I'm going to have the ones that go in scale with that. So there's I'm going down the rabbit hole. I'm jumping in to the rabbit hole because of that.
That's it.
Yeah.
But man, that hot rod, that wheelie, that Grimlock, dude, I am in. I'm all in.
Yeah, they look good.
I'm running away from them. I just can't afford it.
See, I'm lucky. I only collect. I mean, even though it's still expensive, but I only collect Transformers basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got a couple of Voltron pieces. I got, I like 80s stuff that I'm connected to. Like I want the 1/6 Ninja. That's another thing that I don't want to get into, like the statues and the 1/6 scale figures. Like I pre-ordered the 1/6 Snake Eyes and
Right.
the turtles because I heard
Wow.
they're fantastic. But that's something I can't do. Like I can't do it. Like
Yeah, it's tough. You know, you
yeah.
need a way to
Oh, there we go.
you
Yeah.
need a way to justify the spending on them.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's
I mean, I
hard,
can
you
if
know?
I wanted to, but it's just it's too much.
It is
Like,
too much. I mean,
yeah, it's other stuff that
and
got priorities.
I've been pre-ordering a lot of stuff on Big Bad Toy Store, and there's been a big delay with them lately, but it's like I'm kind of glad, so I don't
Yeah, me
get
too.
overwhelmed with everything
So,
that I'm
'cause
pre-ordering.
I pre-ordered the two Astro trains off of two separate stores, and the one came in quick. And I'm so glad Big Bad Toy Stores didn't come in.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you.
I had some time, and I'm even thinking about maybe selling that. Like when I don't know. I wanted 3 for each mode. That's how good it is. But and that's another thing. You got people doing that. Like there's people in the groups. Like I know a couple of guys that I bought a couple figures off of because they got out of it, but they were collecting 2 of each figure to have an alt mode and the robot mode.
I can see that.
I can too. I mean, if I had it, I would.
Yeah, if I
They're both modes look that great.
when we make the $1 million off Mozzcast, Rob,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna buy
This is
2
all
each
fun.
of the
Hey,
of the
you know.
masterpiece. I can see it though. Like you kind of want the alt mode, the robot mode, and the vehicle mode. You know, that's with I mean, like I used to buy stuff, not anymore because it's too expensive. But you bought one figure when you got Legends, Rob. We bought one in the box, one to open,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And then you get into 3 masterpieces. Let's keep one in the box, one in vehicle mode, and one in robot mode. Man, that's just too much.
Thank God the market for Masterpiece isn't like. I mean, they care about men box, but it's not that important. Like
Right.
you can still, if it's a figure that they want, they'll still pay the same price.
Well, they probably want them in the box so when they open it, it's clean. You know, they know it's unplayed with, it's not broken. You know, I'm sure they're easy to break. You know, I'm sure.
Yeah, there are a few. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've read that too. A lot of things, you transform them and they break.
Yeah, the
Right.
directions aren't the greatest. That's one thing, and I don't know if it's maybe some of the companies is a language barrier, but some of the directions are not great at all.
Sure. Right.
So you might have a piece of
But that's the beauty of the internet. That's the beauty of the internet now. You can go put on a YouTube video and it'll show you every step. I'm sure. You know, it's out there.
Yeah.
You know.
That's why I watch Ben's YouTube channel.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
When he buys one, I'll buy it just so I can transform it and watch him do it. But man, I am looking forward to the studio series a lot. Maybe a starting point for me, and then look into getting into masterpiece stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Hot Rod is still the best figure, the best character in Transformers.
Fuck Hot Rod.
That's funny.
I like Grimlock a lot too, man. I dig Grimlock.
Sure.
Grimlock.
That was an event when back in the day and Dinobots were coming on TV. That was an event. Me and my stepdad, I think Transformers came on Sunday at that time. And it was an event to watch the Dinobots come on TV. You know, I think they showed some clips and that Dinobots are coming or some stuff.
That's cool. I remember those episodes too.
Yeah.
That was big.
But it's
one of my favorite characters.
It's cool, man, that Rob brings that up. You have the just you're interested, you're hooked into it because of that feeling or that memory that you have with your stepdad, right? And even the Bay films with Ben and his son, that you watched them because of your son, and he loves them because that's his Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's cool that like we're going from generation to generation to generation, that everybody still is digging the Transformers. I think really important to take away from that these characters that we loved when we were kids, are still your son enjoyed them. Ben,
Yeah,
in a different form, but they're still the same characters.
yeah,
Optimus,
and I got him into G1 somewhat
Cool.
when he was younger. He never, I mean, he liked the toys, and I got a few Generations toys that were basically G1 characters, but he never like took to it,
yeah.
as hard as I did. So that was, it's kind of a shame. I'm like, well, maybe one day he will. I'm kind of glad though that he's not into collecting because he doesn't have a job. So, so it would be a problem. Yeah.
I got 6 words for you guys. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Mickey goes fishing. That's what my son's into right now.
Yeah.
Over and over again, Mickey goes fishing.
Maddie's gonna be a collector. Don't worry about that.
Oh, no,
It's inbred.
it's funny though because he came down because I'm in my basement and that's where my collection is, and he came down here the other day, and we moved maybe a year ago here to this house, and he doesn't come down here that much. So he came down and he was like, "Wow!" Like because I don't think he's seen everything together,
right?
Because I had the apartment, it was just scattered, so I didn't really have a space to have everything situated together. So that was kind of cool when he was like, "Dang!" Like he's like, "I didn't know you had all these Transformers like this." Like, he had different stuff, and he just turned 17, so
Cool.
Nice.
Cool.
Well, I think that's a good place to end it, man. Or guys, we have I think we got a lot of information. I will, cut the episode and put it up, and Ben, I'll send you a version of it to throw up on your YouTube channel as well.
Yeah,
but man, I appreciate your guys' time. I enjoy talking Transformers with you guys. I think we need to do it again.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna have some stuff ready next time. So
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Get some visuals ready.
Visuals.
Just maybe a more in-depth understanding of the terms and what they are. Because I'm still a little lost. And it's hard.
It's not hard to get lost. I don't know how well I explained everything either. So
no, you did a great job, but more visuals I think would be more helpful for me. To see
We can do
when you're saying TF or P or MP40.
Right.
Just seeing visuals, I think I would have a better understanding to see what you're saying.
Yeah, no,
we can do a Transformers deep dive, and
we can do this again, man. Look, there's nothing wrong with it, and if somebody wants to learn, they'll watch it,
Yeah.
I appreciate it, Ben, man. Thank you for coming on, man.
I appreciate your channel. I was interested. I was learning a lot, especially that first episode. Like I didn't realize. I was telling Greg, I didn't realize basketball cards and sports cards came back like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother episode. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We're gonna get into that.
Yeah, we can have you on talking about sports
I wouldn't
cards.
mind, even though I don't know nothing about it, but that's what I would like. I would like to learn. I'll sit here and be quiet.
But that's a good perspective to have, because now, just like I don't know Masterpiece Transformers, and I know what I need to learn. And same with you. You can learn. You can let me know what to tell you to learn. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you guys so much. You got the touch. You don't have the touch, Rob. You don't have the touch. I'm gonna make my own damn song. It's gonna be called "You Don't Have the Touch, Rob."
Hot Rod touched you in the places you don't want to talk about. That's what happened.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. And Ben, it was really nice to catch up again, man. And I'll be talking to you. And guys, have a good one. Mozzcast out.
Remember, if it makes you happy, do it, and if it doesn't, then don't.
Yeah, I know that's right.
All right, guys. Later.
All right.